Recently I was chatting with one of my mates about one of my recent videos and he said something that really stuck with me. He said, du hast in deinen Videos manchmal so Winkel drin, irgendwie sieht es bei langweiligen Szenen sieht's auf einmal voll geil aus. Wie machst du das? Which essentially means in English, sometimes when you film some of your videos, there is some angles that I don't know how you do them and why you do them, but it just looks amazing. How do you do it? I said, thanks, of course. And I was very happy that he noticed something about how I use angles in my videos, how I try to make something look more interesting. But what I didn't know was why it stuck with me so much. So I rewatched the scene and it got me thinking, why did I film it this way? What is the inner voice that told me you gotta do it this way? The answer is, it's my taste. So now I'm asking you, what is your taste? How is it formed? What can you do to improve it? How can you come back to it when there is so much distraction around you? And most importantly, why should you trust in your own taste? Let's find out why. First of all, welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Tobias. I'm a 32-year-old freelance photographer based out of Cologne, Germany, and this is a Wednesday evening. It is 10:49 to be exact. And sorry if I look a little tired, but that's the YouTube grind, I guess. I just came back from some travels yesterday from Mallorca. I'm going to Berlin tomorrow for a very nice job. And yeah, this is what the YouTube grind looks like, guys. I'm already falling asleep. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and since I enjoy making YouTube videos so much, yeah, you gotta make the time and put in the work, and this is where we are right now. I always wanted to make this video because it is a topic that I can't emphasize enough when it comes to the creative process, and it has to do with your creative vision, with your own taste. And to start this video right off the bat, one question that comes to mind is, how important is taste in the grand scheme of content creation, in the grand scheme of creating photographs and videos? We always think about what does it take to make a great shot, a great photograph, a great video. And what comes to mind at first is that it has a lot to do with the surrounding, with the scenery you find yourself in, with the subject, with the model, for example. And obviously it has a lot to do with the gear that you're using, because you can't really make a nice shot with crappy gear, can you? Well, I think we've all been there. And all I can say is that I feel like we get trapped in this kind of mindset where we feel like we're limited in what we work with. And I'm guilty myself of thinking that I can't really create nice work if I don't own the right gear, if I'm not in the right place, and if I don't work with the right people. But the truth is, what really sets your work apart from everything else you see online or in print, or when you just look at the work of other photographers, what really sets you apart is your own creative vision. And by that I mean your own taste. Don't get me wrong, I'm taking photographs for over 10 years now, and of course I got to learn that having a nice location, a great camera, a very nice model, great lighting, and even great assistants, hair and makeup, stylist, photo assistant, all of that, it really matters in the end result when it comes to taking photographs or videos. But they do not replace the most important thing, which is your own taste. And your taste is ultimately shaped by all the experiences you make, all the people you meet, from all the art you admire, from all the places that you ever went, and from the music that you listen to. Your taste is formed by everything that surrounds you. And this is why it is so important to really take care of yourself and what you surround yourself with. Three years ago, I did a workshop with a very well-known photographer by the name of Sebastian Zanella, a very inspiring person. He takes incredible images of skaters and surfers and portraits in a way that I've never seen before. When I attended his workshop 3 years ago, we were asked to showcase some of our photographic work. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So I selected 5 to 10 photographs, showed it to him. And he said, these are nice photos, but he said, like, they all just look like Instagram photos. Without, focusing too much on the model, on the editing, on whatever, he was just like having a quick look and he was like, this is all Instagram to me. And it really shocked me. It really almost hurt me because I was putting so much work in my photographs. But the thing is, he was right. Because all I consumed at this time was Instagram. I've never picked up any photo books at the time. I've never read interviews of photographers. I've never really gave myself the chance to expand my horizon in photography. All I cared about back then was the gear. I remember shooting in M10 at that time. And all I cared about was gear and location and model and blah. So hearing this sort of feedback from a very well-known photographer really struck with me. And it makes total sense. I mean, if you only surround yourself with a specific type of inspiration, a specific type of sources that you get your, inspiration from, you ultimately end up with the very same results that you consume. And when you look at the great photographers like Jack Davison, Christopher Anderson, and Sebastian Sanella as well, you can see their photographic language, you can see their taste. So fast forward 3 years into right now, I've collected a bunch of photo books, I've expanded my horizon, and I've changed sources where I get my inspiration from and how I actually approach myself and my own taste and how I want to form it for the future. This might sound a little abstract for you right now, but I want to make it a little more clear. I want you to think of taste as the lens through which you see the world. It is the combination of your influences and experiences that lets you see potential where others don't. It guides your choices, whether it's the way you frame a shot, the mood you want to evoke, or the story you want to tell. And I want to help you to practice to being guided by your own taste. Because your taste knows everything about you. It comes from within. It comes from everything that you are, that you feel, that you see, that you desire. It knows everything about you and it will help you express yourself freely. So, how do you cultivate your own taste? Well, first of all, it comes down to, as I mentioned before, choosing your sources. And what I mean by that is exploring new art forms like painting, music, dancing, talking to people, traveling, everything that brings you new experiences and that expands your horizon. Make sure to choose unique sources, not the same sources as everyone else. And what I mean by that, for example, it can be photo books. I mean, photo books are available for a lot of people, but only if you really get their hands on a photo book, only if you really spend the money on a photo book. So if you search for very nice photo books, for example, there is a lot of inspiration in between the pages of a very well-known or even a very unknown photo book. You have to dig deep. And what I mean by that is really searching on the internet, for example, looking for your favorite photographers, looking at their websites, searching for interviews, looking up on YouTube if you can find some behind the scenes videos of them working, for example. I know we tend to just, scroll through Instagram and there you go. You got to see some of the photographer's work. But don't get me wrong, that's all right. But if you really want to learn about something and why people, shoot the way they shoot, you got to dig deep. You got to embrace the work of the people. And this just doesn't work from consuming the work from Instagram. So take the time and really search on the internet, get your hands on their photographic work in magazines, in books or whatever. This really helps to understand the work way better. And I believe that the more diverse and unique your sources all over are, the stronger it can shape your own taste. Because as mentioned before, if you deal with the same sources as everyone else, you will probably end up shooting the same stuff that they do. So for me, it makes total sense to expand your horizon and really search for something that no one else maybe has gotten their hands on before. One more very important tip that I can give when it comes to shaping and cultivating your own taste is to detach yourself. And what I mean by that is to detach yourself from your own work. So coming from digital photography, when I started out back in the days, I always had the chance to review my photographs right away. And this led to overcorrecting myself because I always had the chance to review everything right off the bat. And to be honest, this is something that I always thought photography would be like. I thought like this is just how photography works. But switching to film taught me that there is another way to actually create and make photographs. And ever since I switched to film, I enjoy not having the full control over things all the time. And this really shaped my creative approach so much because I am more able to detach myself from my work and ultimately have more freedom in creating. It leads to not having too high expectations of yourself, because imagine you have the perfect camera, the perfect model, the perfect location, the perfect light. You can still screw it up, and that's all right. Sometimes you're just not in a good mood, or you just don't feeling it. Maybe you're not vibing with the model or with the client or whatever. There is so many things that can go wrong, and it's totally all right. I mean, we're all just, humans. You're just the photographer behind the lens. And it's not your fault if something doesn't go the way you wanted to in the first place. So I want to encourage you to detach yourself from having too high expectations, no matter in which situation you find yourself in. It is very important and very healthy to not have too high expectations. And if you don't have high expectations, it will free you from hesitating and worrying. On top of that, I know we always want to, have everything under control, but sometimes things just don't go accordingly to what you imagined it in the first place. So I want you to be open for change of plans and to work with what is around you. Just embracing your surroundings, being open for creative answers to the problems that appear in front of the camera, let's say. And on top of that, not trying to make it perfect is one of the most important things that I can recommend for you guys. I know we always say that there is no perfect, and I really mean that. There is no perfect, especially when it comes to the creative process. There's only the way that you feel and the way how you want to express yourself and the things that you find in front of your lens. So don't try to make it look perfect or whatever. Just try to bring yourself into the photograph in the best way possible. Because in the end, it is your vision that will make your work stand out. So embrace your taste, cultivate it, and watch how it's gonna elevate everything you create. So that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope this will help you to form your own taste. And I believe that there is so many things that you can't, put into numbers or that you can't measure. And taste is something that we are absolutely not able to measure in any way. And this makes it so powerful and so unique and so important, in my opinion. So I hope this video helps you and maybe sparks some joy inside of you to expand your creative horizon and to search for new sources of inspiration, because this will help you to make your work stand out. And trust me, it is not coming from the gear and everything you use, but more from inside of you, if that makes sense. Thank you for watching again. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.